MySpace. MySpace? MySpace. For all my Zoomers out there, let me tell you about MySpace. Back before social media was a disgusting multinational dumpster fire designed only to make people hate themselves and others, there was MySpace. And Tom, he wasn't a lizard android man. He didn't smoke meats, and if he did, he didn't stream it live. Beep boop, fellow humans, I consume food just like you do, beep boop.
Smoking these meats here.
MySpace was great in the early days because it was about sharing music and photos, and it wasn't this. It shined a spotlight on a lot of really cool underground bands that nobody would have heard otherwise. And it also really helped to popularize the idea of the selfie, taking a photo of yourself and sharing it online. I'm explaining what a selfie is. I think we all know what that is. In my advanced age, a lot of old photos that I get nostalgic over are from MySpace, which is actually kind of sad because most of these photos are dog shit. I do have some photos taken by actual photographers, but the bulk of them are not that. Anyway, a trip down memory lane aside, it hit me. I should make a video about MySpace photography, and more importantly, I should take MySpace selfies on film. This is surely going to be a great one. I hate taking photos of myself, and I mean just the level of cringe is going to be astronomical, so join me if you will. And I apologize in advance for what you're about to see. Welcome to my bathroom. This is where I poop. There normally aren't this many cameras in this room. Voiceover loop taken over because the bathroom audio was not very great. Here is what's on the menu. I loaded the Fuji Discovery Zoom 270 with CineStill BWXX. My logic there, high contrast black and white with a lot of grain. I feel like it'll match the aesthetic of the time, especially my quote-unquote editing style. Why the Fuji Discovery, you ask? Well, it's a very basic point and shoot, which is similar to the very basic digital point and shoot I had in the early to mid 2000s. So I feel like they'll be kind of similar in a lot of ways. I also took my Pentax K1000 and loaded a roll of Portra 800 in there, tones being the obvious reason there. Last but certainly not least, I had my Mamiya 645 that had a roll of CineStill 800T in there that's been sitting in there for like 2 months, so I figured, let's just kill this roll and develop them all together. I started with the Mamiya 645. As you can tell, I am certainly not a model, and I suffer from chronic I don't know what to do with my hands itis. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm kinda happy with how these turned out. These, on the other hand, I think would have been way cooler if I was closer to the mirror. I like the idea, I like how out of focus my hand is close to the lens, but it just, I don't know, the pose just isn't quite working for me. This one was such a happy accident. I switched to the waist level finder, but I forgot to set the shutter speed on the camera itself, so the mirror just stayed up for a second, and then I panicked and switched it out, so I got this crazy shutter drag blur effect, and I think it's pretty damn cool. That was the end of the line for the Mamiya. There were some other shots on the roll that I was pretty damn happy with, but they have nothing to do with this video, so here they are really, really quick, and here we go. Now we're gonna move on. Okay, cool. After finishing that roll, I decided it was time to go to the most basic, tried and true MySpace photo, the mirror shot. I used a combination of the Fuji and the Pentax in this instance, messing with some flash, some without, and it was a very mixed bag. While some of these photos radiate big MySpace energy, I can't say that I'm in love with the flash stuff, largely because you can't see my face. I guess I needed better aim, kind of like in Doom Eternal. You thought you'd get a video without a Doom meme, come on. And some of the ones without the flash are just a little too dark. I was about done neuralizing myself with that flash and I completely forgot what was happening, but then I switched to my Pentax and started taking some other self-portraits in the mirror. There we go, we're back. There were more than a handful of shots where I looked like a dork, but there were also a few that I really, really liked. I spent some time playing around with the white balance trying to get things to look right because they were a little bit too yellow, but apart from that, I thought these were pretty cool. After maintaining my track record of impeccable aim, I decided to move into the bedroom because there was another mirror in there. This mirror is right next to the window, so I assumed that I could get away with not using the flash. Sorta, but it feels like the camera used a bit of a slower shutter speed, so they're a little bit blurrier. Again, going for that MySpace aesthetic though, I think they pass. I really like how some of the K1000 shots came out over here as well. Alright, my precious little eggies, after the basic mirror shots, I decided to hit up another classic, the high angle shot. At the time, this was more commonly referred to as the MySpace angle. Truth be told, not a great angle for me. Roar XD, am I right? Honestly though, I don't think it's a great angle for a lot of people. I mean, it's kind of film school 101, right? Framing someone up like this, looking down at them, it kind of makes them look smaller and powerless, right? I also came to this somewhat sad realization while editing this that for many people, I bet blasting themselves in the face with the flash was an early form of face tuning. Can't have bad skin if there's no detail on the face at all. Using the Fuji like this really did bring me back to those early to mid 2000s because a lot of digital cameras at the time didn't have flip out screens and cell phones didn't have front facing cameras just yet. So doing the MySpace angle was very much take a photo, take a look and see if you got it right, do it again. The only difference this time, film. Obviously I can't really check it out each time. Really nailed focus on this Pentax shot, huh? That's very, very nice. Very excellent work. After those shots, I decided the only logical way to kill the rest of these two rolls would be to attempt to recreate some of my classic MySpace shots. First off, we have the big I play guitar and I'm brooding photo. The black and white shots are just straight up bad. Also, F's in the chat for my hairline, no more emo bangs for me. Damn. The portrait shots are closer to the original though, and they also weirdly look like the cover to my greatest hits album. I think the first track would probably have to be This Is Not a Sponsored Video. Glad we got that out of our systems, huh? There'll be some gear reviews coming soon. Up next we have this, masterpiece. Wow, that's great. That's a great photo. A few notes. I didn't have that sticker anymore, but I do have another Bronx Underground sticker, so that'll work. Also, I know you're all going to be very disappointed by this, but I'm not going to paint my fingernails black. As I sat down to take the shot, banana in ear to emulate the clamshell phone, I started to get confused, baffled if you will. Like, how the hell did I take this picture in the first place? I had to weirdly claw grip the camera to reach my fingers around the top to hit the shutter button. And on the Pentax, I actually ended up shooting it upside down just to make my life a little bit easier. Of course I shot these out of focus intentionally to match the aesthetic of the original. That was definitely not a mistake on my part. I was absolutely 100% intentional. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed getting a little nostalgic with me. I had a lot of fun making this one and I couldn't really leave the apartment, so I was trying to be a little bit creative with it and, you know, have a little fun. And what started out as a meme actually turned into some pretty cool self-portraits. There are some shots that I really quite like, which is great because the banner on this channel is very outdated now. My beard is much longer and I have years more wisdom than that guy, I suppose. Still posting shitty memes in my videos. So anyway guys, let me know if you were on MySpace and share your MySpace photos in my Discord. And by the way, add me on MySpace. That's been a joke since this channel started, but there is actually a MySpace profile for me. Get me on the socials, let me know how everything's going in the comments below, join the Discord. Make sure you subscribe or I'll be all sad. And share the video too. And yeah, that's about it. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye. Alright, so I'm studying this cringe. There's a couple of things that we need to note. First of all, I don't have that guitar anymore. Second of all, I don't have that hoodie anymore. Third of all, I'm old now and I have a beard, but it's whatever. Also, the pic, that I remember using those pics, they were these horrible, like, I think it was like 34, I don't know, it was like the thinnest pic imaginable. You know, my buddy Keith always would compare them to like using a piece of loose leaf paper. I found it. Look at how thin and shitty these pics are. What the hell was wrong with me? So stupid.
Like and subscribe to Sweet Lou Photography. You're the man.